You're listening to Peterborough's community radio, Salam Radio. Salam Radio. 106.2 FM.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to Salam Radio. I'm your host, Shaz Nawaz, and I have in the studio with me
Kieran Bateman.
How are you, Kieran?
I am really good.
Have you enjoyed the bank holiday break?
What's a bank holiday?
It's the day when banks have a holiday.
You mean it's not a working day?
Every day's a working day.
Every day's a working day, right?
Yeah.
What's a day off?
But we don't work though, do we?
No, to be fair, no. I don't work in the sense that people say do your
it's
hobby.
A chore. It's not a chore. Yeah.
You'll never work. Or
do something you enjoy.
It's not a hobby that I've turned into a job, but it is a job that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoy everything I do. So I have a good time.
The best way to be, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's been said. We said the other week because we had a closing down party for one of the one of the jobs that I do, and because it was the end of this particular project, and someone said it should be illegal to have this much fun at work, and you're like, yeah, genuinely true, because we just have a good time.
But that's how you stay in a job for a long time, and you give it your best because you enjoy it, rather than waking up in the morning thinking, oh, it's Monday again, I've got to go to work, and the Monday blues, and the rest follows. And
I do not get Monday blues.
You don't have the energy, do you?
Yeah, and you do. You lose a lot of energy in your day.
Yeah, I don't just mean the physical energy. I mean the energy that you portray to others.
Yeah.
The enthusiasm.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. So, and you don't have that problem, and nor do I, and I'm very grateful for that.
And everybody can have that.
Yes,
and that's what this particular topic and this show is all about. It's about creating wealth and having fun in the way that you perceive fun to be, and living the life that you want to live.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
If you're happy, then everything else gets better.
Absolutely. And as always, we welcome your participation. You can do that by calling us on 01733 602 133, text us on 07411 191 062, or comment on any of the live streams on Facebook, YouTube, X, or Twitch. This week on Wealth Made Simple, we're talking about a very simple topic, which is you don't need any or much money to start a new business.
Yes.
And isn't that an exciting, interesting topic?
Well, it's one of those things that, there is a phrase, it takes money to make money.
Yeah.
And
it takes someone's money to make money.
Yes. But everyone hears that phrase and they're like, oh, you're a successful entrepreneur, you're a successful businessman. Must be nice to be you. I bet you had, mummy and daddy's money as startup capital.
Bank of mum and dad, yeah.
Yeah, or something like that. And so they write, even if they've got the greatest idea in the world, they write themselves off before they've even started, because they go, yes, well, I don't have the capital to start a business like you did. I can't just give up my job because I've still got a mortgage to pay for. It must be nice to have been able to float for a year or 2 years and not have to worry about paying a mortgage because you've got money behind you to be able to cover that, that cushion. And it's all very, well, it must be nice to be you, but I can't do that because I've got responsibilities to pay for. And that's simply not true.
It's good to be smart.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not good to be smart. I'll tell you why. Because when you're smart, when one's smart, one tends to overthink things and think of all the problems, hurdles, objections, issues, concerns that may come in the way. And when someone is not as smart, as in doesn't overthink or think things through that much, says, let's just do it.
And see what happens.
Sometimes I think, and more often than not, it's the best way of doing things because you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the only way to do things. I'm not saying it's the perfect way to do things, but I think it's a good way to do things because at least you get on with it.
Yeah. And, look, have you ever had something in your life that you've bought regularly, and, show my age here, but...
Are you talking about you and buying coffee every week?
Yeah, something like that. Or, if you smoke, if you're a smoker and you smoke regularly, or drink too much coffee, there's always money for coffee. There's always money for cigarettes.
Yeah.
If you stop, the money's not there. people will say to you, how many coffees do you have a week? How many takeout coffees? I probably have 2 a week, and I probably spend for home coffee probably about £100 a month. So all told, I spend, let's call it around £200 a month on coffee. That's a lot of money.
It is. Just on one thing.
Just on one thing, yeah. If I stop drinking coffee, am I going to suddenly have an extra £200 a month? The answer is no.
It's that old joke, isn't it? And I'm going to spoil it, but I'm going to give it a go. Where someone says to a friend, you've been smoking for 40 years and it costs X amount to buy a pack of cigarettes, and you smoke Y amount every single day.
Yes.
Therefore, by now, you could have afforded a plane. And the other guy responds and says,
You don't smoke. Where's your plane?
Where's your plane? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we find other things to spend money on, don't we?
Well, it's not even that you find other things to spend money on. It's you find the money you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is more of a mindset thing. It's an abundance mindset rather than a limiting mindset. And if you believe there's not enough money in your account, there's not enough money in your account. If you believe that there is enough and you will be fine, because, notice something. You spend money, and whether you work for a living, whether you sell stuff, whether you're an entrepreneur, business owner, or whether you're PAYE, doesn't matter. Every month, there's more money in there. So it's not a lack of money that's the issue. It's a lack of a lot of money in a short period of time.
And quite often I've seen clients, as say, we're going to do X, and being an accountant, my question would be, do we have the working capital and the resource and the funding available? And they say, don't worry, we'll figure that out. I'm saying, oh, no, but especially in the early days, we've got to have that, okay, in our pot. They say, don't worry, we'll figure it out. And more often than not, most of them have figured it out. Because once you're
committed,
now you look around, of course, there's a lot of blood, sweat, tears and toil on the way. It's not plain sailing. Let's maybe be frank about that. But they figure it out because they have no choice, because they're committed and think, we're moving in this particular direction. We're going for it now. Let's find all the different avenues of how we can get what we need to move this forward.
Yeah, and that's just it. It's that idea that everyone has in their brain. You need money to make money because that's what we've been told. And I think that's true in a sense that if you want to make and scale money quickly, you need money behind you.
Or if you're doing something which is very cash intensive, okay, then possibly. Yeah.
But
if you're launching rockets, okay, or making planes, or doing some kind of tech work that requires a lot of initial R&D, you'll need some money, and most people probably don't want to bank with you or bank on you because it is high risk.
Yeah, absolutely.
For that, you need money.
Yes. So on that front, if you're doing something big that is capital intensive, you do, and there's no getting around that. It doesn't necessarily have to be your money, though.
Yeah, and we're not even talking about that, by the way.
And we're not talking about
people taking the first step on a ladder to get started.
Yeah, and for that, you don't need money.
That's right. So, if somebody's looking to start a business and they're enthusiastic, they don't know where to start, Kieran, what's the first thing you think they ought to do?
I think the first thing you need to do is decide what you're going to do. Yeah, it sounds really simple and kind of obvious, but what do you want to do? Do you want to sell a product, a physical product? Do you want to sell an idea? Do you want to sell knowledge? Do you want to invest in a platform? Do you want to be digital? Do you want to be physical?
Do you want to be a personal brand?
Do you want it to be personal to you? Do you want it to be a company?
Yeah, do you want to be an influencer?
Yeah. So all these things, you need to decide first, and some of it you can come across by accident. Yeah. And so, there was pre-pandemic, Cubby did some really funny videos on Instagram and on YouTube of people showing really weird hacks in inverted commas to normal life things that are just ridiculous, like oh no, your cable's stuck in between your cup handle and your cup and it seems to be knotted, so I'm just going to go get a hammer and break it. And the whole purpose of his video is he just untangles it and pulls it out and shows it. He says nothing in the videos. It's purely visual, and it's made him a millionaire. He started with nothing. It is that simple. And okay, he found an idea that worked, and it worked really, really well.
And if you think about it, to some extent, if you look at what Charlie Chaplin did, he's done that in a different way.
Yeah.
So it's not even a new idea, is it?
No.
Most ideas aren't new ideas.
No,
Okay,
it's
make
not a
it
new
funny,
idea at all.
don't talk, okay?
Yeah.
And just let people get to the conclusion.
Yeah. But there's a prime example of how you don't need money to start. Because now he's got, he's gone from that to his own brand, his own merchandise, his, people have copied it and they pay him royalties for some of his stuff. He's got, now he's got copyright laws on things. So
It's expanded.
yeah, it's grown. And now he's got a life of freedom to do what he wants with when he wants, how he wants. He doesn't have to work for a living, etc., etc., etc. And that's not a unique use case. That's not an individual that you go, oh yeah, but he's an outlier. That's not normal. Actually, it's fairly common.
It is when you start looking at it.
When you start looking at it, and you're not necessarily going to be, a millionaire overnight, a millionaire in a year, a millionaire in 2 years. That's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is that if you've got no money but you've got a good idea, then it's worth looking into it. It's worth doing the research. Is somebody else already doing it? Is there a gap in the market for it? Is there something that you can bring to the table that is unique to you? All of these things come in under your idea and your research before you even start. And it doesn't take a lot of work. It really doesn't. Get the idea first. Something you're passionate about, something you enjoy, something you love. And it can be anything. Literally anything.
Yeah. No, you're right. And then from there, I guess it's identify a niche,
Yeah.
a gap in the market.
Yeah.
And sometimes the gap's very obvious because you look at some other business or area and think, how can I translate that into the area that I'm interested in?
Yeah.
So you can think, what does Uber do? How can I translate that into my industry? What does Just Eat do? And how can I translate that to my industry? What does Amazon do? So on and so forth. Any of the business. Sometimes the answer's there. You just got to translate that into the industry that you're interested in.
Yeah. It's like I've been discussing with a friend who is an entrepreneur, healthy takeaway. Because takeaway is a massive industry.
Big food is, yeah.
Yeah, food's a huge industry. But how many people do healthy, cost-effective, essentially diet-friendly or, vegan-friendly, vegetarian-friendly, as a mass market thing? And there is a call for that. So, that's something they're looking into. Yeah, we've known about this for a while.
Yep.
Nobody else has managed to find a way to do it in a financially viable way. But he's got a friend who already owns a farm. So he's got produce.
Yep.
So now it's a matter of, does that work with that? But the idea is there. Mm-hmm. And suddenly, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, I don't know how long it could take. But you can model it off of American companies, which are already doing this, because it's happening in America. But you go and get a proper, good, healthily cooked takeaway that's not dissimilar in price to your cheap fast food takeaway. Mm-hmm. And suddenly, well, because a lot of times you hear, and this is my point about market research and finding your niche. How many times do people say, I would love to eat healthy, but it's too expensive. I'd love to eat healthy, but it's too complicated. It's easier to cook a meal that's not as healthy.
So address a problem or challenge people have.
Yeah.
And simplify it.
And that's what they're doing. And they're looking at addressing that problem. Oh, okay. You say it's too expensive. It's too difficult. Okay, we'll do the hard bit and we'll make it affordable. Are you going to buy into it? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm in.
That's the second bit, I guess. So once you've identified a niche, which is identifiably different, then go out there and do some market research
Yeah.
to validate that idea.
Yeah. And so here's the weird thing about that is I've just sat on this show and given however many people are listening, however many people tune in, that idea and told them it's possible.
Yeah.
Oh, but what if someone steals my idea? Who's got the money to do it straight away? And I shouldn't talk about that. I shouldn't tell people. I should keep it close to my chest because what if somebody steals it and does it better? Okay, that's fine.
So what?
I enjoy the competition.
Yeah.
It will be fine. Because do you know what? If somebody else does it first, there's now a paper trail. There's now research.
You can observe.
I can observe
watch,
and do better.
Yes.
There's
Or differently.
Or yeah, there is no such thing as single market economy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think there's a single company in the world that has a monopoly, complete monopoly on what they do. And I'm willing to be challenged on that, but I don't think there is.
There are always competitors on there.
Yeah, there are always competitors. Maybe they're not as big, but they exist,
I mean,
and they are there.
And you can take, as you said, take stuff from different countries because, as you know, I have an office in Pakistan, so I go there a few times a year.
Yeah.
And the alternative that they have to Uber Eats is Food Panda. Busy, Kieran.
Yeah.
And the alternative that they have to Uber Drives is another company which I've. They've also got Uber there, but there's a second company. The name escapes my mind. But those people would have seen Uber or some other platform or doing that and said, how can we now translate this into how we do it in our country or in our area, in our region? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's stuff that's happening, let's say, in China, India, wherever, by the way, America, wherever you look at Europe. See, that's not in the UK right now. Let me implement that in the UK and give it a go.
Yeah.
It's 90% done for you.
Yeah. And I mean, China's a fascinating one because of the way that they are structured, there's a lot of rules and regulations and can't do this, can't do that. This is closed, this is open. Yeah. The Great Firewall of China, as it's known. So that if you can get some information from that, there's so much more you can you have access to. And just even if you don't know what you want to do, create an ideas engine. You know, you can use a large language model if you want online, or but just I used to dislike these at school, but I found as I got older I really enjoy these spider diagrams. Yeah,
Mind
maps, business. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And then just link things off each other, and you'll get to where you want to get. That's also, part of your niche building, your research, your market data, and it's fun.
And the good thing is, people didn't have a clipboard, stand on a street corner or somewhere in the town centre and ask people questions and fill out a survey. You do it all online.
Yeah, absolutely.
Simple as that. Survey Monkey, Google Docs, forms, so on and so forth.
And they've got massive databases of customers that you don't need to have yourself. You can approach them and go, can we do this survey? And, for a small fee, they will do it. Yeah. And suddenly you'll get active market research that you wouldn't have access. It's all about being creative in the way you want to view things or the way you want to find things out, because never in human history have we had so much information at our fingertips. And I think sometimes that's a little bit overwhelming. We don't know where to start. But, I mean, you could do a Google search on how to start a business, and a lot of what we're talking about would come up.
Yep.
Because we're not plucking things out of thin air going, oh, that might work, that might work.
Just showing tried, tested, trusted ideas.
Yeah, tried and tested, true methods that we know work and that we have both implemented.
Yeah.
So we know they work because we're living proof that they work.
Yeah. So that's the second step. So now you've done the research. What's next?
Now you've done the research. Now you've got your product, as it were. Now you need a business plan. And this is as simple or as technical as you want. A well thought out business plan will include your business model, your target market, your strategy, your marketing strategy, your financial projections, how much it's going to take for you to start this up, but that's how much it's going to take to get you started is kind of misleading, because if you've got to the stage where you're developing a business plan, you've already started.
Yeah.
So how much has it taken you to get to this stage? Nothing.
But the good thing about a business plan, it forces you to think through things.
Yeah.
It forces you to think about costs that you'd have missed up in your mind. Because simply speaking, what people usually do is item A costs X amount. Okay, I'll have Y amount of customers walking through every single day for whatever reason, or clients. Okay. Therefore, my income is X1. Okay, people simplify it. And then the time is out by 365 days. Look at my turnover, is going to be £2 million. Okay? I think my costs are, well, let me work it out. Rent, rates, and a few bits and bats here, there. It's only 200 grand. I'm going to 1.88 million quid. Okay?
I would love a business that works like
you know
that.
What I mean? That's how people do it. I've seen that people doing that in children's day nurseries. I've seen people doing in education. I've seen that people doing in property a lot.
In property a lot.
Rental income, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, what about voids? What about all the repairs, maintenance? What about other things? Interest rates going up when you're not on a fixed mortgage, so on and so forth. There's a lot there. I've seen the same people do it in accountancy. I'll charge £2,000 per client. I'll have 200 clients by the end of the year. This is what I'm going to pay my staff, and this is what the profit I'm making. It's not that simple. A business plan forces you to look at those things in detail.
Yeah.
Look at all the costs line by line.
Yeah, and that's something you are exceptionally good at, and you're really good at being analytical in that. And that's something that you do need to be with your business plan. Is analytical. Don't be emotional about it.
Yeah.
Because this is where so many businesses fail before they've even started.
Yeah.
Is you get emotionally attached to it, and because you're now emotionally attached to it, you want it to work regardless of the numbers. So you're like, well, based on the best projected numbers, it's going to do this. And then the business doesn't work out the way you wanted, and then you feel like it hasn't. You've struggled, and then it's been a problem, and then you give up. That's the long and short of it. And as opposed to the way you and I project our business models is, okay, worst possible numbers. What is the least amount I am going to earn from this? If I've got one client at, to use your example, £2,000 for the year, is this business sustainable? If the answer is yes, well, okay, anything over one is a bonus.
Yep.
And I can probably get one. Mm-hmm. That's fine. And I can probably get one that's paying me £2,000. Yeah. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Can I get, now the question becomes, can I get one a month, one a week, one a day? Well, business, is it scalable in that front? Yeah. And a good business plan forces you to look at all these aspects. And if you look at it purely analytically as just a number crunching exercise where does it work, yes or no? If the answer is no, okay, put it in a box, move on. Don't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because it may work later in conjunction with something else.
Or it forces you to think about your numbers differently.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to rent an office. Now maybe I can't rent an office, but I can rent a room. Or I'm going to work from home, and other stuff we're going to cover a bit later on. So you just start doing things differently. Yeah. I was going to take on an employee. Now maybe I can hire a freelancer, somebody part-time. Okay, so those you start chopping and changing without compromising the overall position of the business. Okay, and maybe you can still make it work, but it forces you to say, how can I do something differently? Yeah, and that requires thinking.
Yeah, you start playing Tetris with the blocks.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
These are my building blocks of the model. They're all different shapes. Mm-hmm. They're all different sizes. Let's move them around until I get a flat line. Once I've got that flat line, then I can start building on that. But you are going to have to pivot, and don't be afraid of change. Yeah. Don't be afraid of, and this is also tied to being emotionally attached to your idea. Don't be afraid to change your idea. I'm going to have an office with 100 staff, and we are going to be doing. Okay, that may not work. And if it doesn't work, that's okay.
And don't blow money on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about where the money comes from, because we said it's start business with virtually no money. But it's important, isn't it, that you best utilize the resource that you have, i.e. money, in the best possible way to get the maximum outcome.
Yes. Yeah.
Because vanity steps in, creeps in,
Ego.
and then you're basically now spending more money on the refurb. You're now buying, MacBooks, and all kinds of stuff that you don't need. You're buying software you don't need. You're spending a lot of money on stuff that physically looks good in a particular place, physically, but you don't need all that stuff.
Yeah.
You could have bought second-hand stuff and just made a start.
Well, it's like a prime example of that is someone that I've done some work with recently.
We're going to cover that, Kieran, as soon as we come back after the break, and we're also going to then cover where the money could possibly come from, because that's the biggest objection and hurdle that people have. So please stay tuned. Just straight after this very short break, I'm going to talk about how to scale a business with no money.
The top pizza in Peterborough. Visit Top's Pizza, established in 1988 for delicious pizzas with freshly made dough daily. View the extensive and mouth-watering menu online at topspizza.co.uk. Then choose from traditional tasty toppings, something different, or create your own with fresh 100% halal meats, salads, veg, and a great choice of sides too. Call into Top's Pizza, 52 Broadway, PE1 1SB. Call 01733 913 775 or order online for delivery or collection.
Attention foodies! Discover a world of flavours at Pack Foods, the largest ethnic supermarket in Peterborough. Shop our vast selection of authentic ingredients from around the globe, including spices, marinated fish and meats, and exotic fruits at incredibly low prices. And the best part? We offer free parking. No more hunting for a spot. Come visit us today and explore the incredible range of flavours at Pack Foods, 232 Lincoln Road.
At Master's Pharmacy, we put your health and convenience first. We offer free blood pressure checks and blister-packed medication. With our free same-day prescription delivery service, you can have your medication when you need it. We also offer travel vaccinations, including Hajj and Umrah, along with other services to meet all your pharmacy needs. For more information, contact Master's Pharmacy on 01733 567 208 or visit us at 303 Lincoln Road, PE1 2PH.
Discover peace of mind with Islamic wills from W&P Legal and Mariam Khan. Expertly tailored to respect Islamic principles and UK law, ensuring your legacy is honoured. We offer tax-efficient wills, probate, lasting power of attorney and more. Trust us for a culturally sensitive estate plan. Your legacy, our priority. Call W&P Legal now on 01778 252 301.
2020 World Buffet is inspired by the best foods from around the world. See our teppanyaki chefs grill your food to order, or choose delicious Indian, Italian, Chinese, Mexican dishes and British favourites, all halal. 2020 World Buffet offers you unlimited food at a set price. Open 7 days for lunch and dinner. Catering, wedding and party services available too. Call 01733 566 320 or visit 2020buffet.co.uk. 2020 World Buffet, 35 New Road, Peterborough, PE1 1FJ.
Whether you visit the Berry Furniture Showroom at 78B Fengate in Peterborough or view and buy online, you'll be amazed at the quality and style you could enjoy in your home. With beds from just £299 and complete 321 sofa sets from less than £1,000, you'll also be amazed at their wholesale prices too. Plus, there's a 1-year free warranty on sofas and beds, subject to conditions. Find out more, click on Berry, that's BERRE furniture.co.uk or call 01733 300 517.
Bite into something wonderfully tasty at Big Mouth, 349 at Lincoln Road in Peterborough. Eating in for takeaway or delivery. Big Mouth now have a delicious new menu full of all your favourites. Crispy fried chicken, juicy smashed burgers, finger-licking peri-peri chicken, handmade pizzas, quality doner meat and so much more. So visit the family-friendly Big Mouth restaurant for fantastically fresh food. Call 01733 201020 or visit getbigmouthonline.com.
This is Salam Radio, Peterborough's Muslim community radio. Broadcasting on 106.2 FM and online.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening. You're listening to Salam Radio on 106.2 FM. If you rejoined us, then welcome back. And if you just tuned in or joined us, then thank you for tuning in. I'm in the studio with my co-host, Kieran Bateman. And we are talking today about a very interesting topic. But before we do that, as always, we welcome your participation. So you can call us on 01733 602 133. You can text on 07411 191 062 or comment on any of the live streams on Facebook, YouTube, X or Twitch. Although what I find today, Kieran, is I answer texts quicker than I answer everything else. Whereas at one point I was answering texts last because you had email, you had stuff on social media, you had WhatsApp that usually took your attention. And so people who were texting used to get the response last. Now because less people text.
Yeah.
And this is just me, by the way.
No, I'm the same.
It's a bit like people say, that mail doesn't work. Well, we had less junk mail coming through the post, although it costs more money. So therefore that gets more of your attention now compared to 20 years ago when you had loads of junk mail. That makes sense?
Yeah, because I WhatsApp everyone. You know, my conversations are in WhatsApp. I
do both and see who responds quicker and from which platform they respond quicker. You know what? Most of the people respond quicker to the text message.
Yeah, it's WhatsApp, Messenger, or DMs, and I almost never respond to a DM. On Instagram, Facebook Messenger gets a relatively rapid response. WhatsApp, when I can be bothered to open it because everyone messages on WhatsApp. Yeah. So text message, I'm like, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
Who's texting? Who's texting me?
Yeah,
straight away.
Yeah.
Because it's there, it's open, it's in my mind. Straight away answer. Yeah, I'm the same.
And this week on Wealth Made Simple, we're talking about how to start a business with no or low money. So in the first half, we talked about finding an idea, doing the research, identifying a niche, and creating a business plan to help you crystallize your thoughts. In this second part, we're going to be focusing on what people think is the most important part, which it isn't, but that's what people think, so we're going to focus on that, which is where does the money come from, Kieran?
Yep. And I'm just going to finish the thought that I had before.
In the first half, yes.
Because we were talking about how people can be so wasteful in because they haven't done the research and the lack of knowledge. And one of someone I've been working with, they have decided they are a PC power user. And so, because at this precise moment in time they can afford to do it, they're going to spend £5,500 on a PC. And when I ask them what they're going to do on it,
spreadsheets,
they are overspending on their PC, probably to the tune of about £3,500. They do need a good PC, but they don't need
a $5,500 good PC.
They don't need what they're buying, but that's a lack of knowledge on what it is, what it takes to do what they want to do. And we know this because we've done some very intensive things on PCs in the office, and we've had to upgrade them.
Yeah,
but we've upgraded them to the point where they are now useful at doing their job, not to the point of let's spend £3,000 to upgrade this PC unnecessarily.
Yeah,
because we're cautious about where we spend our money. And that brings us nicely on to where you should spend your money, where are you finding your money, and how are you going to do that? Because we've covered, quick recap, decide you want to do this, get your idea, do your research, talk to people, make a business plan, be analytical about it.
Look at what other people are doing elsewhere and transfer that to your business idea.
Yeah. And now we come into where does the money come from? The bit that everyone thinks is the most important part, and in some cases, for me, it's the last thought on my mind is, where am I getting the money for this? I'll do everything else and go, I'll find the money. This business, if I can prove this business works, the money will be there.
Yeah.
But everyone likes to front load with the money, so let's cover that off. So the first option is start really, really small and grow gradually, and don't look to make money, look to reinvest money.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah. If I start up a business, I've done all the research, I've done all of that, and I've still got my full-time job. I do have a full-time job, honest. You believe me, right?
Of course I do. Always.
But no, I do my full-time job, and I do this on the side. This is what most people refer to as a side hustle.
Yes.
And you do your research, you do your bits and pieces, you get a product out there, whether it's, like I say, you can sell your knowledge. I'm going to use that as an example, because there is going to be something that you are very good at that people will pay you for. And knowledge, people will pay a lot for knowledge, be it in webinars, mastermind stuff. And they require virtually no startup capital. They require you to have something you've probably already got, a mobile phone.
And you see, that's a good point you make, because, as you know, going up in another country and talking to property investors, and someone at some point, usually after every talk, will come up and say, I've only got a handful of properties. I'm really interested in sharing with people, okay, how they can become property investors. But I don't have as many properties as you have, or where XYZ person has. Therefore, I don't think I'm ready. And I say, but how many properties do you have? And let's say they say 5.
Yep.
I say, but that's 5 more than what most people have got. Okay.
Yeah.
5 more than what most people who want to actually start, okay, who have signed up to a course, have got. Okay. And even if somebody's got 1, they'd love to get to 5. So you are an expert. Okay, not to the level that you think you want to be, because you're looking at people who've got 50, 100, 1,000 properties.
Yeah.
But you don't need to be at that level to start training people and sharing your knowledge. Share it with newbies, beginners who don't have a single property, and say, let me help you get to 5. Because you're the expert on getting from 0 to 5, because you've done that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and then they think, oh, yeah, I didn't think of that. Because they're always thinking, big, I need to have 100 before I can start, before I have the credibility. No, you don't. You've got to 5, you've got the credibility.
And what's fascinating about that is people think of it like bite-sizing chunks. On this 1 to 5, thing, you've got 5. Okay, cool. Me as a new property investor, I want to get into property. I want to learn, and I've been speaking to this guy, and he's got 300 properties, and he's doing multi-million-pound deals with 17 different investors. He has ring-fenced here. He has done some really complex stuff over here.
Big gap.
The gap of knowledge there is massive, and it seems unjumpable.
Yes.
Now, if I keep talking to him, because at some point he's going to give me some information that I'm going to learn from, and it's going to be fantastic. But wind it back. Speak to you. You've got your 5 properties. Okay, how did you get your first one? Because you've got 5, you still remember how you got your first property. This other guy that we're talking about, he's dealing in hundreds of properties at a time. He's buying blocks of flats at 30 properties in one go. Well, that's too much. It's too big. But tell me how I get 5. Okay, well, I got my first property by doing. That knowledge is invaluable. It's incredible, because you are already where I want to be. You're not where you want to be, but you're where I want to be. And there are many people like me that haven't started yet.
They want to make a start, that's right.
But want to make a start, and you're where they want to be. You are that first step.
Mm-hmm.
And you've already done it. If you've already done it successfully, you've got your properties, you're making money from it, well, you can make money on that knowledge.
In a weird way, but it makes sense, that person who has 5 is better qualified to teach the person who's got 0 than the person who's got 100.
Yes, absolutely.
Because they're so far ahead now.
Yeah.
They can't even remember what it was like when they started. And that one
Yeah.
might have been a long time ago, and then things may have changed somewhat, okay?
Yeah.
But the person with 5 is probably built 5 over, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Even if it's 1 a year, that's fine, okay? So they're more relatable and they're more current.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like when people start talking, big numbers. Do you want to learn how to make £100 million a year? No, I'd like to learn how to make an extra £2,000 a year, thanks.
Yeah.
Just on the side, because I'm still in a job, and it's a number that I can cope with. It's a number that's within
You can digest.
within my comfort zone.
That's right.
And whilst we are both advocates of stepping outside your comfort zone and having big, audacious goals, I think there is something to be said on that very first step to learn something that you're comfortable with, rather than trying to learn something you're
And it's not for us to
uncomfortable
tell
with.
people what they should have. I mean, yes, help people to aspire to and have an ambition to get to 100 million, if they so choose. But if somebody says, I want an extra 20 grand or 100 grand a year or 50 grand a year, then that's their choice. Work with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's just it. But to bring it back to this episode,
So you're saying bootstrap, as in reinvest your own funds?
yeah, once you've
start.
got that side hustle and you've got a little bit going on, don't think about that as extra money straight away. Think of that as
Extra investment.
and then just reinvest, grow your base. And so that's and that's starting small, growing, and doing the freebie work to begin with.
With that, then, I guess the second and it's very simple and obvious one is family and friends.
Yeah.
Because they know, like, trust you anyway. And as long as they can believe in your idea, ask them for some initial investment and either give them some kind of a return or give them an equity stake, whichever one works for you, or a bit of both.
Yeah, or a bit of both. And
people are so square, I can't give somebody 5%. Oh, it's only worth 50 grand, mate. If you're giving, 20% of it away now, but it's going to be worth £1 million down the line because of that investment. So what, you're giving 20% away, you'll still keep 80%, and 80% of $1 million is 800 grand. To give 200 grand of value away which you're going to build together with somebody at the start or after your first year in business or second year. So what? It's a bit like Dragon's Den if you look at it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, but I mean,
But
also,
somebody, I don't want to give you 30% away because one of the angel or dragon says, I want a third. Oh, I don't want to give a third away. You think, man, they're giving you 100 grand, for example.
yeah.
Take it.
I think there's a very almost selfish attitude that comes in there.
And partly arrogant,
Yeah.
dismissive.
If I've got no angel investment or no investment in my business, and a good investment from an external source will help me grow, scale, and build quickly, and they want, even if they want 45%, right? Okay, so my business currently is worth £100,000, let's just say, and I've built that on my own with no external money. It's worth £100,000. I am worth £100,000. Yay, go me. That's fantastic. Somebody wants 45% of my business, but they're going to invest in it, give me capital, let me grow quickly, let me scale quickly, and in a similar sort of time frame, my business is worth £1 million.
What's not to like?
I'm still taking home, I'm now worth £550,000. That's a 500% increase. A smaller slice of a much larger pie is worth more than having the entirety of a mince pie.
Yep.
And it's as simple as that. But
something is better than 100% of nothing.
But people get hung up on, but it's mine. I don't want to share it. Well, okay. Then grow slowly.
Yeah. So we've got own funds, family and friends,
Crowdfunding.
which is very popular.
Yeah. Indiegogo, Kickstarter,
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe, They
many,
allow
many of this, by the way.
yeah. Oh, there's loads out there.
Yeah.
But if you've got a really good idea, it allows hundreds of thousands of people, if they want, to each donate a couple of quid, £5.
Whatever they feel comfortable with. Yeah.
Whatever they feel comfortable with, that they're not going to miss. But because you've got so many people investing in it and bringing it to one place, compound interest, isn't it?
Yeah.
£1.
Yeah.
Would you rather have £1,000 or 1,000 people willing to invest £100?
Yeah.
I'd rather have 1,000 people willing to invest £100.
Yeah.
Rather than one person willing to invest 1,000.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
And that's what crowdfunding platforms are good at, because they've got access to those people.
Yeah.
Who'll put a bit in, over a week or a month or whatever, and they'll get you to the figure and say, here you go, off you go.
Yeah. And, there have been some absolutely fantastic products that have come out of crowdfunding.
Yeah. So that's there. Grants and competitions.
Yeah.
Works exceptionally well. There's loads of government grants.
Yes.
For different sectors. If you look online, there's more grants than people think there are.
Yeah.
You've got to find them. Some could be local, some could be regional, some could be national, okay? Some could be international.
Yeah.
Or from Europe, okay? There's a lot available out there if you look around. And these aren't just government grants. Sometimes they are from particular sectors.
Yep.
Science, technology, so on and so forth.
And sometimes there's and there are a couple of websites out there dedicated to private grants.
Yes.
Institutions will privately fund you to do something.
Yep.
Isn't that incredible?
It's brilliant.
It's absolutely amazing. But the point is, there's money out there.
Yes, and there's plenty of it. Linked with that is obviously sometimes you have certain competitions.
Yeah.
If you enter those, there's some big money at stake at times.
Yeah.
If you're confident with your idea and you're confident you can put it forward to other people and have it tested, and even if you don't win, the stuff that you're going to learn, and the feedback you're going to get, okay, and the process that you're going to go through, that in itself alone, Kieran, I think, is worth the investment of time.
Yeah, and I mean, although angel investment, something like Dragon's Den, because they are functionally angel investors, as we've discussed earlier, that's also very similar to competition investing, because you're going there to pitch your idea to a group of people who are very good at what they do, and if they see merit in your idea, they'll invest.
Yeah.
Great.
What's not to like? Microloans and peer-to-peer lending, Kieran.
Yeah, so that's something I have less experience with because I've had to use it less. But at its core, it's an agreement of funds lent over a repayment period for you to get up and running.
There's loads of platforms out there like Kiva, Funding Circle, which some people would have heard of, and many others that provide you small. I mean, some of the loans that Funding Circle provides nowadays aren't small compared to when they started 10, 12 odd years ago. But
they are small in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, compared to some of the other traditional forms of lending.
Yes.
So you've got that. So peer-to-peer lending is very popular, okay? And it gives you access to cash. It's not the cheapest way of doing things, but like we said, you've got to speculate to accumulate. Microloans, again, work in a very similar way. Could be a much smaller loan, okay, over a certain period of time, but it gets you started.
Yeah.
If you've got nothing in the pot, you want to start somewhere, and you believe in your idea, that gets you started. Something which you mentioned prior to that, which is angel investors and venture capital.
Yeah. And that's very much like, it's the professional version of crowdfunding, essentially.
And angel investing or finding angel investors is a little bit easy. What usually happens is you go into a room with 3 or 5 people, you pitch your idea, a bit like Dragon's Den. They look at it, they ask you questions. If they like it, fine. If they don't like it, it's a beauty parade. Yeah. And if you do enough of them, after the first one, you've learned stuff. You implement that.
Refine your pitch.
Second one, and refine your pitch, and go and do something. You don't have enough credibility, or your numbers don't prove. Okay, this works much. But spend 3 or 6 months, improve the numbers because you believe in them by taking on the feedback the investors have given you. Remember, they're sat on the other side of the room or the table, okay, because they're the experts. They've got the money in their back pocket.
Yeah.
That they're going to give to you. So take their advice. Don't be arrogant. Listen to them. Implement that, and in 6 months' time, go back to them And one of them will say, I'm really surprised and also pleased that you took on my advice and you made it work and you've proved to me this really does work. I'll give you the money.
Yeah.
Oh, get on.
And the nice thing about that is you gain instant credibility and instant respect doing something like that, because when you've gone back, you've taken on their advice, so they know they can work with you. They know they can train you. They know that you're serious. So just by doing that one thing, you're demonstrating the ability to learn, the ability to take criticism, the ability to adapt, the ability to respond positively to feedback, and resiliency, because you're keeping on with it. All of these things
matter.
Really, really matter. And they matter more than a lot of people will give it credit for on the surface. But experienced entrepreneurs, they want someone with that tenacity, that if they're going to work with someone, they want someone that can meet them at their level, or if they're not going to meet them at their level, can learn to grow to their level and then be equals. Because you don't want to go into business with someone who is volatile and going to stamp their feet every time something doesn't go their way and act like a overtired 3-year-old and just have a tantrum. You don't want to get into business with someone like that, because that creates stress, that gives you a headache.
They're hard work.
They're hard work. I don't want to deal with someone like that. I want to deal with someone that works with me.
Yeah, and who gets it. And if you don't want to go to the same room, go to a different room of angel investors. There's plenty out there, by the way.
Yeah.
Loads of investor forums.
Yeah, there really is.
Then alongside that, because we mentioned it, you got private equity and venture capital.
Yep.
There you've got to demonstrate over a period that your business idea works. But they've got the ability, Kieran, to give you a lot of money. Now, they want a stake of the business, but they can give you anywhere from, say, £500,000 up to £10 million plus.
Yeah.
Okay? They don't usually deal in £500,000, okay, or like 500 grand, because
it's too small for them.
Because they want to do something bigger. So they start with you 2 or 3 million usually, okay, and it depends on the size. Is it mid tier, lower tier product firm, and the smaller ones obviously will do lower amounts. The big ones want the bigger ideas, but they can really transform your business. But you're giving equity away. And they get people on your board, or get you to find people on your board and think like a proper corporation. Yeah. It's not for everybody, but if you got them on board and you can make stuff work, they'll take your business to a different level and then take it to market, sell it, okay, and you're both quids in. Now, not every single VC and PE, as in private equity deal works.
No,
some will crash and burn, but if you're certain in your identity and you're willing to work hard, that's a wonderful opportunity. Alongside that, if you think that doesn't work for me, well, if you got a good idea, then you may joint venture with somebody who does something similar to you. So it's a hand in glove fit. So they don't. Okay. So they don't have the product or service you're offering. They've got other products and services, and they've got
and they complement yours.
Customer base, and you complement theirs. They complement yours. That works. If you don't like that idea, you can reverse your business in somebody else's business. So they've got something that works already. You've got a different geographic area, okay, or a different client base that they want. So they think our clients can buy from you, or customers and their customers can buy from you. So you amalgamate the businesses, or create a new SPV, special purpose vehicle, and go in with them. They've got the infrastructure, some of the expertise. They want access to your client base, and Bob's your uncle.
The point is,
there's a lot of opportunity here.
Yeah,
we can't cover every single one today because we want to do obviously in the first half set the scene. But you can see from the ideas we're sharing, there's loads of ways to get money.
Yeah, exactly, and
more ways than most people know.
And I think that's the point. Is if you're genuinely passionate about this and you genuinely want to get your business started, and you don't have any money of your own to get it started, as we've discussed, whether it's as simple as a bank loan to get it started, or as complicated as going through the process of learning angel investment, venture capitalism, all the rest of that. There are hundreds of ways of accessing other people's or other companies' money.
Yeah, I think the last time
all it takes is talking to people.
Yeah, I did exercise a long time ago, maybe, I don't know, 2010, 11, okay, 30, 40 years ago. I think I came up with 57 or 58 ways to raise money.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Once you sit down and think about it, there are lots of ways one can do something. And then they can go all the way up to the extreme that you are going to, which is you can refinance your house. I'm not saying people should do, by the way.
No.
Or sell your house and rent it.
Yeah, which is what I'm going to be doing.
Exactly, which you talked about on a previous episode. And that really takes guts.
Yeah.
Because you're saying, I'm all in, guys and girls. I'm doing this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's many ideas in between. But I hope this particular episode gives people some ideas of there are lots of opportunities and options.
Yeah.
Okay. As George Bernard Shaw said, the possibilities are numerous once you decide to act and not react. So you got to act, you got to be proactive, and you got to move on and make things happen. So that's it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed listening to this episode. You're going to take action. You're going to start your business and keep us updated. Until next week, take good care of yourselves and your families.